We're here to talk about moco. There's a lot to discuss. KPIs just came out and we have played 54 days of this game and have a lot of thoughts that we want to share with all of you. Hey Kairos, thanks for coming through, man. I can't wait to get the discussion going, brother.
Yeah, man, this is great. In fact, I should probably pull up the KPI because I read through it once. Normally I like really digest it, but for some reason I just quickly glance over it. I was pretty busy, but yeah, I'm excited. We have a lot of thoughts to talk about, so let's just hop into it. What's the first thing you want to talk about here?
The first thing I want to talk about is, okay, we initially spoke, me, you, and Ash got on a call, and we were talking about moco very early on, and you and I were like, gung-ho moco. This is going to be, if it ever goes to PC, that's the route for it to be the #1 Supercell game. We've played it. You get yourself to the Elite Hunter program, things spice up again, you get yourself to level 60 inside of the game, and then it kind of falls a little bit flat. So I just wanted to get your overall honest impression, and I'm happy to share mine as well, about the game. Are you still as excited about it? What are your thoughts in general now that you've put in, we basically put in 2 months into the game so far?
Yeah, I think today I'll reach Elite Hunter 107 or something like that, and spent a lot of time playing it. And it's like, okay, I come from a couple of different perspectives here. I have loved moco from the first moment that I played it. It took me all of 5 minutes before I was like, dude, if this goes global, I'm covering this. This is just too fun. It's too great. And I'm not one who is people will often claim that I just like to fluff Supercell or whatever, that I'm always behind their backs. No, that's not the case. I have done very critical reviews of a lot of their games and have sent pages and pages of feedbacks of things that very intense feedback, and sometimes even just told them I think that you should just kill this game because I don't see it going anywhere. So let me just say that before I talk about how much I love moco. I love it so much. I think it's so fun. I am still enjoying it. I am desperate for more content. I love the game so much, but at this point I've done almost everything in the game. I've reached Elite Hunter level 100. I have my max out dash module. I am just a few projects from claiming every single cosmetic in the Elite Hunter program, which if you are pay to win or if you spend money to buy the pass, actually takes a lot longer than if you're free to play, because a lot of the cosmetics are locked behind if you don't buy the pass. So for you free to play players that are like, wait, I did that months a long time ago. Why is Kairos just now doing it? Chill, dude. I had to do a lot more than you. Anyway, but I'm out of content, and it has become very apparent to me that the game is not where I wanted it to be in order for it to be full launch. Let's market, let's do a big push, let's get everybody invested and involved in it. And that coming to that realization honestly was a sad moment for me because I really do love it. But what I've come back out of this experience realizing is that my confirmation, internally, I'm confirmed that this game is good. It is a good, great game, and I think that a lot of people are going to really enjoy it, but they still have work to do. We gotta let them cook in the kitchen. We gotta let them keep developing it. We need to let them release more content. But I think the good news is that the core of the game really is there. It genuinely is good, and we just need more core. We just need more content. They need to release chapter 2. They need to get into a cadence of being able to release chapter after chapter after chapter somewhat frequently enough so that not as many people reach that Elite Hunter level 60 point and realize that they don't want to keep playing. I think they just need to release content more frequently, honestly.
Yeah.
We don't even we had the KPI and they mentioned that they're planning on releasing chapter 2 before their summer vacation. And so I think that pretty much means we can guarantee on getting an update sometime in the next month or two. And I'm excited for that. I think they need to do it faster though. 3 to 4 months between chapters is a long time, especially when people are going to be reaching that Elite Hunter level. It took me, what was it? 42 days. It took me 42 days for me to go from Elite Hunter level 1 to Elite Hunter level 100. So And if that's the same every single update, that's about, a little bit over a month for players to get to the point where there is no reason for them to continue playing. So anyway, that was very long-winded, just a lot of thoughts there. But
no, I love the thoughts. And so first, I got a lot out of that too. So I want to bring up a couple of points if I can remember them all. One, you're past level 100, right? So you've unlocked the Elite Dash module, the max level of it. That's really the primary reason for grinding the Elite Hunter program, because forever you're going to have that maxed out dash that we don't know if they're going to ever bring it back again for other players, or if this is a one-time Elite Hunter program item and now your account has it as an OG player. So besides logging in and doing your daily experience and all of that and enjoying it, what is the reason for you to actually play now? Because upon the Elite Hunter programming going to Chapter 2, we're all getting dropped back down, and all the levels that you grind now are going to be gone. So what's inspiring you to play? Is it community? Is it you just having fun? Or is it just routine?
For me, it is, I care a lot about the collection level. I've spent a lot of money on the game. I've purchased every skin that you can have, every cosmetic. I've grinded every title that you can from all the special events. And as I'm pretty much as close as you can be to having a perfect collection in moco. There is one exception. I'll talk about that in a second. But the one exception to that is I'm missing one final gesture in the Elite Hunter program. As soon as I complete enough projects for me to get those final elite tokens for me to get that, there's no reason for me to continue playing unless they release some sort of limited event. They do these weekly events that you can go and get new stuff. I'll continue to do that. But other than that, I genuinely don't even care about the leaderboard. The leaderboard, even though I am in the top 300 players global, and I'm number 35 US when I've maxed out my XP, even though I am that high up, that's just because I'm just playing every day. I genuinely don't care. So once I get that final gesture and all that cosmetic, then I think that eventually collector level will give more rewards than just the shiny badge. At least that's my hope someday. But the one way that my account is not the perfect collection is that I did not abuse the shard farming, chaos shards. And if you abused the chaos shard farming thing, then you could get some more merch tokens and you could complete the 200 merch token drop things sooner. And so I'm a little bit behind, but honestly, I still might be the highest collection level in the game. I don't know if I am or not, but there's no leaderboard for that. Why is there not a leaderboard for that? Come on, moco. We're the ones that are spending money on the game. Put me on that leaderboard.
I like your subtle brag right there. You don't care about it, but you very much care about that collector level. I've heard you talk about it
the
before.
Collector level. Yeah, no, I care about that because I know that's what I could actually compete in forever.
Oh, that's funny. I mean, I think, okay, so first of all, we both have, I live stream on a pretty regular basis and put out videos. You're putting out pretty big videos about moco. We see comments, we're in the Reddit, we see the communities and what they're talking about.
Dead game. It's dead.
Dead game.
The game it's getting killed. That's what everybody says, right? Which is funny because I see that in Brawl Stars too.
Oh,
and Brawl Stars is doing incredibly well. It's the highest grossing game for Supercell. It fluctuates between Brawl Stars and Clash of Clans and sometimes Clash Royale, but that's a whole other topic. But Brawl Stars is doing great and people call it a dead game. So I don't take any stock in people claiming moco is a dead game. It might be dead for them. Cool, whatever. Move on, bro. There's plenty of awesome free games to be able to play out there. Go enjoy something that you want to do. But moco is not dead. It's not dead at all. It's definitely a lot of people will stop playing after they reach a certain point in the game, which is completely expected because even the Elite Dash module is not enough for a lot of people to reach Elite Hunter level 100 because it takes a lot of work and effort for you to get that last 5% faster dash or more frequent dash or whatever. That's so much work and effort for just a minuscule amount of power. So I don't even blame people for quitting after Elite Hunter 40. I genuinely don't. I get it. I think that moco's best solution to trying fixing that is, of course, it'd be great if they improved more Elite Hunter program or aspects of the Elite Hunter program. But I genuinely think the best solution to that is to just release more chapters more frequently.
Okay.
Just make more content. Which is a lot easier said than done.
That's what I was going to say. So I want to talk about two things, two topics. One is the time that you said you would like to see this Elite Hunter program rotate from chapter 1 to 2 to 3. And then I want to talk about what you were just mentioning about new content. So if I have a brain fart there, remind me of the new content. I always said that I thought that a 3-month cadence for the Elite Hunter program was a good cadence. Now, it seems like you disagree because of content related things, but if we're looking at the Elite Dash module level 100, I clearly don't play as much as you because I'm a level 92 and you're a 107, but I do play a lot.
No, I mean, you have to be playing a lot to get to that point.
Right.
Like, it sounds like there's a big difference between those two levels, but that's a lot of playing.
Yeah, it is a lot of playing. I mean, at this point, you can get a level, maybe 2 levels in a day when we're
I've maximized my progression. There's nothing I could have done more so to maximize my progression other than chaos shard farming. So like I'm at the highest level that you can be without chaos shard farming.
Which is the way it should be, because that was not that it was people cheating.
We don't even need to talk about chaos shard farming. It was just a bug abuse, and I didn't like, and it wasn't fun. I didn't want to do that, so I just didn't. I'm not taking like a moral high ground or whatever. I don't blame people for doing it. I was like yeah, dude, go ahead. There's a bug in the game that you can abuse, and they're not gonna ban you for it. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's part of the game.
I didn't want to because I didn't want to. It wasn't fun.
Yeah.
But that's a totally other topic, you know.
It is, and that's fine, and we don't need to get into that topic. That's old news anyway. But so is your whole thought about this program that only top players should be able to unlock elite modules at level 100? Because if this ended in 2 months, well, first of all, I probably would be grinding just to make sure that I got it, you know, especially if you're getting close. But most people, if the Elite Hunter program ends in 2 months, they're going to be stopping. You know, if we're talking about normal players, like regular players, they're going to be stopping around like 2, 3, and maybe some, you know, bigger gamers level 4. Is that what you feel is an okay space for people, for players in the game? Or is it the way that I kind of look at it as, you know, put in some decent grind for 3 months and you'll be able to get that 3rd level? Because part of the reason that I say that is moco has took a stance about not being pay to win and not giving advantages to players. So
awesome.
So if you're going against in PvP a player that, and again, PvP is another whole topic, but if you're going against a player that's super casual in PvP, are dash modules so they're not in PvP?
Nope.
So then it's solid, then it doesn't matter.
Elite modules aren't a part of PvP, neither are the smart rings.
Right.
You just have weapons, gadgets, and passives.
So actually, that answered my question. Then it doesn't even matter. It's just for open.
It doesn't even matter. It's literally just for overworld and rifts. Like Elite Dash module is like really great. In fact, I'm at the point now where if I go and I play PvP, I'm like, oh, my dash is always on cooldown. What is going on?
Yeah.
It's because it's so much slow. It's like I'll hold like 1.5 seconds slower.
Yeah.
No, that's a good question. But let's talk about that cadence there. I like to look at, I think, let's just imagine a world. Okay, I'm going to in this world, let's say you max out your XP as absolutely possible. You don't miss any sort of progression. Okay. And the player who completely maxes out their XP reaches Elite Hunter level 100. And let's just say that from that point on, when the most peak performance player reaches Elite level 100, then all the other players have just 1 week to also reach that point. Okay. Let's just imagine that that's the time frame. You have 1 week to catch up, or you miss out on your maxed out Elite module. Okay. All of a sudden, there's a major shift that happens in the players' minds where it's no longer like, dude, there's no content here. This is so repetitive. It's like, oh, I have to grind this out if I want the best account possible.
Yeah.
And if I miss out, like, it's not that big of a deal because nobody likes the Elite Hunter program content anyway. All they care about is the chapter content. Like, that's the most fun part, where you're unlocking new gears, you're unlocking new weapons, new passives, new gadgets. That's the most fun, when you're unlocking rifts, when you're unlocking dojos, when you're unlocking these new worlds and fighting against more monsters. And so the people who are grinding out this Elite Hunter level to reach their Elite module, there's going to be a limited amount of time that you're even in the Elite Hunter program for you to get that. And all of a sudden, there's a big push to reach max level if you care about having perfect progression, especially on seasons where you have an Elite module that is really good. Dash module is cool, it's useful, but imagine if you had an attack speed module or a movement speed module. or something massive like a gadget damage crit multiplier.
Yeah.
Or something like that where it's like, oh, that is juicy. That's going to like really provide a lot of benefit. I'm going to want to grind that out. But I'm only going to have that one additional week window compared to the maxed out players. That means there's a lot of motivation for you to play every single day. And there's going to be a very different experience in future updates compared to this current play session. Because when the game first released, I don't know if you remember, like when you're at level 1, it takes you like 8 hours for you to grind out all your daily XP.
Yes,
it takes
forever.
A long time.
Yeah.
But now it takes you like 30 minutes to 45 minutes if you're not being efficient. Yeah. And you can do that way more efficiently if you like have like a Discord notification pop up every time there's an overcharge world and you just go to the overcharge worlds and you farm overcharge stuff. You can be done with your XP in a matter of minutes if you're like really efficient with your time. And so like the idea of having to grind out for 8 hours every single day, that's not going to be existent. All the time dedication that is going to be required for you on a daily basis is to play for, 10 to 30 minutes of somewhat efficient time gameplay. And so all of a sudden, the idea of reaching Elite Hunter level 100 every single chapter not only becomes more appealing, but also becomes easier and less demanding. So, I mean, I think that sounds way more fun than having to wait for 3 to 4 months for every single new chapter. If they can release a chapter every 2.5 months, like that sounds like the best of everything, because then the players that are not hardcore sweats who don't care about elite modules are going to be getting this new content really, really frequently, and they're always going to be able to explore. It's going to feel like they have a massive MMO available to them already, as opposed to just experiencing a fraction of what this game's potential is, which is what we are experiencing right now.
Yeah, I absolutely love that idea. I haven't heard you talk about that prior, so I think that's actually amazing, as long as it can be in somewhat time gated by Supercell, which it can because of the amount of experience able to be gained. And
the biggest hurdle to this, obviously, this is like ideal and cool and the best, but everybody just wants more content from the games that they love. Mm-hmm. If it were easy, then games would just release more content. This is just like an ideal thing and something that I hope for. But I really like, people that come into Brawl Stars right now, Brawl Stars space, they're very used to like having an update every 2 months. They don't remember what it was like years ago when we would get an update like every 3 months and all we would get is like a new brawler and a couple of skins. They don't remember what that was like. And Brawl Stars has, as their team size has grown and as they have made their processes more efficient, they have been able to increase not just the update frequency, but also the amount of content that we get with each update. Now if people have a small update in Brawl Stars and people are complaining of it being a small update, it's still massive in comparison to the updates that Brawl Stars had 3 or 4 years ago. And I think that is what I'm envisioning talking about with Moco here is eventually my hope is, I mean, they're still a small team, is my understanding. And I'm sure that they would agree that what I'm proposing here is awesome and would be ideal, but they are still working on a lot of things. And also there's a lot of changes that have to be made in the game right now that are kind of like what I call low-hanging fruit, right? Where it's like, okay, obviously we want to release a new world, but people want improvements with the lobby system. So let's improve the lobby system because that's actually causing problems. And there's a lot of small things that they have to improve and get down to where like the game feels really good before they can focus all their development time on making new content. So that's going to take time for them to do that, but that's my hope, that's my vision, and maybe Supercell has a better vision that I'm not even thinking of, and that would be cool. And probably they are, because as much as I like to pretend like I know a lot about what's going on behind the scenes of the game, I can guarantee that the developers are thinking about this way more than anyone watching this video right now.
I'm sure. I mean, that's what they do, right? They're literally making
and
this
they've
game.
Been doing it for years. Moco has been in development for years. They've had a lot of time to come up with these ideas like legendary weapons, which is an idea that I'm going to talk about in a video that I'm going to release. Like, it's a cool idea, but like I can guarantee you they've already thought about it and gone way past it. And so anyway.
All right, so the other topic I wanted to bring up was you talked about content. And if we think about the majority of Supercell games, it really has to do with PvP. Like Brawl Stars, it's about battling other people. Clash Royale, even Clash of Clans. Although Clash of Clans has a big grinding element to the game, it's really about clan wars. And I think that's what's really keeping the game alive. So we can look at those three.
And even before Clan Wars was a thing, it was still all about
leaderboards,
killing enemy bases and farming your stuff so that you could upgrade your troops.
Right. So that's something that with these Clash of Clans going in attacking bases, Supercell doesn't need to build anything to create that experience. Brawl Stars fighting other players.
They have thousands of different people already building bases.
Right, exactly. They're building.
The challenge is infinite because there's so many people. Like,
what a great idea!
People will spend time in the clouds searching for a base that they think they can take down. Yeah. Because there's so many different bases and people have thought about so many different things that doesn't exist in moco. And moco's PvP, quite honestly, it just kind of sucks. Like I hear people suggest like, let's get rid of the PvE element of PvP and just do players versus players. And I'm like, bro, that's what they do with every event and everybody hates it. Like the depth isn't there, the skill isn't there. It's just not a PvP game. And that's totally okay. It really is okay. And that's just fine. Yeah. But you're right that they don't have millions of players creating content for you. Even in Brawl Stars, the meta is always changing and new brawlers are becoming more and more powerful, and there's different combinations and stuff like that that we see in competitive gameplay that nobody else is even using, and it like blows our minds.
That puts a lot on them as developers, though. You mentioned they have a small team. You know, if they have to continuously come out with new monsters, new zones, new experiences, like that's a lot of development time and manpower versus a PvP experience. Now, of course, as you mentioned, PvP is a little bit lackluster inside the game. I don't particularly hate it as much as some others do. I like it. So I typically do PvP when I stream, and I'll get a bunch of people in 10-player, and it's kind of fun because you're with a bunch of people, little community, and you kind of wreck everything, which is not the same experience most players have because most players aren't getting big teams.
Most players are on the other end of that, dude.
Exactly.
I've been on the other end of a 10-player death ball, and it's just like not fun.
I believe it.
But that's a whole other problem that will be solved if they can make some improvements to PvP, and also as they increase the player size. So I'm not so concerned about that. It is a problem right now, and I don't want people to think that I don't think it is a problem, because it is a problem, but that is a problem that will get solved with time.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
I guess my only concern about a game that is solely reliant on developers creating new content all the time is that it's just going to be a heavy lift for them to always need to be, or a large team that's literally a team that's creating something today is for an update a year from now, you know, if they're continuously backing up content like that. Yeah. But I guess we'll see.
This is a problem that is going to continue to be a problem for moco, and it always will be. Yeah. I'm comparing this to games like Genshin Impact, which I've played a lot. Genshin Impact is not PvP at all. I don't even think there is PvP in Genshin Impact. It is entirely PvE focused and story driven, and about the gacha, about collecting new characters and completing the story and exploring. Exploration is a big part of Genshin Impact. And there are absolutely lulls in Genshin Impact where people have completed all of the content and then they stop playing until the next event comes out or until the next area is released. And there's more story for them to experience. And that's just the truth of it. The problem is, though, is that they can't release an infinite amount of content so much to the point that there's that players aren't even experiencing it all. The most hardcore players in moco are probably always going to feel underserved because they are playing it for hours. It's like the people who are at elite level 100 are like, this game is dead. There's nothing in it. And it's like, because you've been playing at this point way more than everybody else.
Yeah, but also that is such a small minority of the amount of players that are actually going to play the game. Like, if all of those players decided to quit because it was a dead game to them, the game would still do very well because 95% of players are not at that level. Not that you want those guys in the game, but they're going to be...
There really are a lot of things that do need to be improved for those players. The Elite Hunter program, in my opinion, is not perfect in any way. Like, it is It very clearly needs work. It just feels like a copy of the rest of the game. And the Elite Hunter program is really fun for like a 5 days after you reach there, because you get to experience all these new rifts and these dojos, and you're trying to figure out like how to defeat them with your friends. And that is so fun. But after you beat it, then it's just like, oh,
Done.
well, now all I have to do is increase my power level so that I can get faster clear times. And quite frankly, that is not super fun and rewarding. And so then you stick around for the Elite Hunter module. Like, the Elite Hunter program is not perfect, and it needs some improvements. And I do think that even though that community is underserved and will always feel underserved, they need some improvements. But Supercell needs to focus on getting more players to that point first.
Keeping them there, not having them quit before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like they have to do things in the game to get people to that point. Like if I go and I take a look at my friends list, and compare all of their players or player levels. In fact, maybe it'd be entertaining for you to do the same right here. Just pull up the game and look and see like how many people actually reach it to a high level, like, and see where the drop off is. This is just like anecdotal. I imagine you have a full friends list, or I don't even know if you can have a full friends list. I don't know. Maybe
Yeah,
this is
no, I have isn't it all through the Supercell ID, your friends list in this game?
Yeah, through Supercell ID.
Yeah, I'm packed out already.
Yeah, so not a majority, because I actually do take time to add a bunch of people that are like the highest levels. So my ID, anyway, the point I'm saying here is that there are plenty of people who I know love Supercell games who didn't even make it to Elite Hunter level, right? Or they did it and then they stopped. Like there's quite a few people that I know that like really like Supercell games that didn't even make it to Elite Hunter 30, or didn't even make it to Elite Hunter 40. Man. Yeah, dude, I like YouTubers, like people who I'm like, I thought for sure would just hit this game really hard, are not even making it past Elite Hunter 40.
Yeah, I've seen the same thing actually with YouTubers as well, by the way, just getting onto that topic. People that were all in moco that kind of faded off about it. But again, it's a different kind of game. It's very different than any Supercell game before, and maybe they were expecting something different. I don't know, but...
Well, there's a drop-off.
Yeah.
That's the thing, is that there's a lot of players who don't even make it to Elite Hunter program, and will never make it to Elite Hunter 100 because it's not worth it to them. And that's okay, but Supercell needs to they need to improve the game to the point where that is, like, I don't know. People would care more about the elite modules that you max out at a level 100. They would care more about it if it felt more rewarding for them in other aspects of the game. So maybe even stronger elite modules, maybe just making the rest of the game more rewarding for them and improving aspects of it.
And keep in mind, with the elite modules, you can only equip one at a time. So if they do bring out one that increases crit, as you mentioned, on all of your gadgets, and it's just so OP, that could be the chapter that everyone grinds, and then they don't need to worry about it anymore because they got the best one. Another thing that I was just thinking of that kind of could be an issue with after someone beats it, then everyone else has 7 days, is for people that are paying for this. So for me, for example, I really loved the cosmetic, this one right here. And I would be frustrated as a player if I wasn't able to get to the point where I unlocked that cosmetic that I feel like I paid for because the program was ended early because someone was able to push through it super quickly. I could see that being something that paying players would not love. Casual playing players.
Yeah. No, you're definitely right.
But
yeah,
I mean, again,
monetization and cosmetics are a whole other topic that I suppose we could discuss and talk about as well. But I think overall the sentiment here is that the game is good. It just needs more, and eventually more frequent updates. I mean, we really haven't had an update. We had one that patched a couple of things and made some improvements and bug fixes, and some, optimizations. Like, I don't know if you remember that nobody could go into infested forest.
No, I don't remember that.
I made the joke that it was because it was infested with bugs.
Well, that's the
Which
truth.
when you go into it, like literally all the monsters are bugs. Anyway, I thought that was funny.
That is a good joke, man. I like that one.
Thanks, man. That was unfortunate, though. That actually prevented a lot of people from continuing to progress and made a lot of people quit just because, like, they couldn't continue their storyline quests. Luna was like, "Help save us in the infested forest," and people were like, "Okay," and they'd go and tap on it, and then their game would crash. And
I do remember that. Yes, I do.
I can't do it, so they stopped playing. You know, anytime there's anything like that, so they've fixed that, and there are other things like that that they need to improve. So.
I mean, you compared the game to Genshin Impact, which is a very PvE, story-driven, gotcha-style mechanic inside of the game, or that type of a game. I think moco taking that route, if it could be properly supported, isn't bad. It kind of reminds me of Diablo 3. It has this every season, you know, people play, they grind, and then they kind of taper off. They stop playing. Then the next season comes. Everyone returns back to the game to see what changes, what's the strongest class. Let's build it out. So it's more of something similar like that. With that said, I don't see them getting rid of PvP at any time soon. I think that would be a huge drop-off.
And I hope that they don't. I genuinely want them to continue improving PvP. I think that PvP has a great potential for certain players. I wish that PvP was more rewarding. I wish that PvP was essentially an equivalent form of collecting XP as overworld farming was for people who want to. That, like, maybe it's not quite as efficient as overworld farming on overcharged event worlds, but that you could still get a lot of XP for getting first. I think that that's a great way to do it, because I know that there are a lot of people that really will enjoy PvP, and I'm not saying that PvP itself is bad. Well, okay, what I think is that the PvP, player versus player aspect in moco, feels terrible. It feels like, did I have my cooldowns better than them? There's like, I couldn't like aim, I couldn't dodge, like there's not as much strategy in it.
Yeah.
But I do think that the PvPvE, where you have environmental factors that come into play, and like, do I go and I attack this player when they're killing the not Slasher, I forget what his name is, but whoever's in the middle, the Bug Lord. When do I go jump in? Do I focus on killing the Bug Lord? There's that aspect of moco. I think that there's a lot of value in that, and I think that the PvPvE modes, I think that those could be really good for players that enjoy it. I don't think it should be the focus. I think a lot of people are saying, like, this game needs to be a PvP game because all Supercell games are PvP games. And I don't think that that's true. I think that that is, and I know that it's not true because I've seen how Genshin Impact does it just fine. So, but I think they need to improve it, and I think it will get better. And another reason why I'm saying this is not just comparing this to Genshin Impact, but comparing it to every other MMO that I have played. Like, PvP in every MMO is a love-hate relationship with all the players. People either love it or they absolutely hate it. And there are some people obviously in the middle, but like, it's so impossible to balance PvP specifically in an MMO that is based around PvE content. It's so hard. And I've seen a lot of different games try and handle these problems in a lot of different ways. And it always gets messy. So
no, I agree.
I don't know.
I like the PvEVP, by the way, as well. When I say PvP, I'm really talking about the way that they're doing it inside of the game. I think that it's like a Destiny style, right? Like, you're going to be fighting the world bosses, and then you can be fighting other people around it. I don't know. I think it's cool. I also don't want to see it go. A lot of feedback that I've seen is it's just rewards based. So more XP, maybe cosmetic. Everyone talks about cosmetic rewards for leaderboard positions or for particular progress in different areas of the game. I could see that working out as well. So we just had the KPIs come out, and I know that you said you went through it. What are some of the things you're most excited about? I mean, they teased a new weapon, it looks like, or a new gear. Nothing more than just a box on it. I don't know what it is. They have the new add a friend community system, which is nice. It shows me that they're definitely listening, which I think Supercell excels at, right? Listening to the community. What do people want, and try and build in that direction. What are you most excited about what you're seeing here?
I mean, it sounds silly, but like gear slots.
Dude, I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, he's going to talk about the gears. That's so funny. The naming gear slots.
Naming gear slots. Well, and also if you look at that picture, you can see a little plus icon that what looks like it says new. So it looks like they're adding additional gear slots as well.
Well, they're going to have to, because they said that they're removing gear slots from PvP. So there's not going to be those. So they're going to have a ton.
Yeah.
Really.
I don't know. I think that the biggest thing, though, that I gathered from the KPI is not necessarily any one particular point. It's just that they are aware of the issues that people are bringing up. And I know that they didn't individually address each issue, but the feeling that I get reading through it is that they're just more aware than people think that they are. Like, especially on like Reddit, people just assume for some reason that the developers are inept. I don't get where this comes from. Genuinely don't. It's like, why the developers are idiots for not doing this? Like, what the heck? It's like, bro, like half the time people are suggesting ideas like that and they're mad and upset like that. Their ideas are terrible.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, like, sorry, Reddit. I love the Reddit community. Don't get me wrong. I watch all the most popular Reddit posts every single day. I never miss a day for Moco. Like, I love it. But like, I think that people just don't realize how much the developers care and are aware of these issues and have probably been aware of these issues before the game even released and just were not able to address it yet because they have more important things to do. And I think that's the general vibe that I got from it. What I'm most excited for, though, from the KPI specifically, is that we are not going to have to wait several months for the next update. That's going to happen before Supercell releases or goes on vacation. And so that means in the next couple of months. And I'm really excited for that. I think that's going to be really great. I think it's going to breathe a little bit of a fresh air and also give players the experience of what the Elite Hunter program actually means. Because a lot of people just don't understand it because it's confusing. Like, wait, things are getting reset. What's up with like these people don't, it's confusing. It's genuinely confusing. Yeah. And so I'm excited for the community to be able to experience another chapter for like, I mean, assuming they follow what I've talked about in the past is like the XP level increasing from level 30 to what I assume will be level 40, because that's what was talked about like months ago. Before the next, having those 10, I am a little bit worried though, like those just having 10 additional levels like might not add as much content to the game as I would like it to. But yeah, I don't know, just more content.
Yeah,
I'm a little sad that they're not planning on like going crazy on marketing, because me as a content creator specifically, like I want the audience to grow, and at this point, like I can't really justify releasing too many Moco videos, because like
you just touched on my next two questions. One was, I want to know, do you think they're going to do a big bang like that? I remember being at Supercell with you and a ton of other creators when Brawl Stars launched. It was a huge event. It was awesome.
It was so fun.
It was so fun. Do you think they're going to do something like that for Moco, or is that like the old Supercell way? I mean, that was a long time ago. Do you think they're going to do something?
Well, they had something similar for Squad Busters as well.
Was it that big?
And it was pretty big.
Okay.
It was pretty fun. And I'm sorry you weren't there. I feel bad being like, I mean, well, you missed the last party, so
yeah. Rip.
The Moco, I mean, the Squad Busters was a very different group of people, and that's another discussion. But I think that will happen. I genuinely do. I think that what a lot of the community wants is like more players, more support, more marketing. Like, let's get the audience. Like, let's build this group. And I get that, and I love that, and I think that like there's a really big part of me that wants that. But I think that what we gathered from the KPI is that they have a lot of things that they want to do. They want to improve major issues currently in the game before they go crazy on marketing. I think that they will have a big push for marketing, though. I think it will take some time. I mean, I can't imagine them not wanting to. I don't like Supercell doesn't want to like just slowly build their game.
They want to bang.
Like, who wants to do that? Like, I've got this great idea, people. Let's make this awesome game, but only release it slowly. Like, it's like Everybody's like sitting there like, you know that meme where they throw the guy in the office like out of the window because he said something stupid?
Yeah.
Like that's the guy who gets thrown out the window. No, they're gonna do something big. They're gonna do something massive, but they want to get to the game to a point where they feel really good about it, and that they feel like, okay, we've hit the indicate. Like we're not gonna improve that much more. Let's release it now and deal with the growing pains as we go. That's what I see happening.
That's what
unless they completely change how they do things, and I just don't see them doing that.
That's what I've learned as well. Like when the game launched 54 days ago, it was, a lot of people, including myself, didn't know, and I was kind of like, okay, this is it. Like the game's launching, it's exclusive right now, and it's going to go out. We've realized over time that that's not exactly how it's going to be going, which is okay. But I'm excited about what's to come. I think it's going to take longer than a lot of us think.
I thought that it was going to be faster, but having played through the content that exists in the game right now, I'm more realizing, like at first I thought they would release chapter 1, and then they would do kind of something similar to Squad Busters, where Squad Busters went into beta, and then like a month later they announced global, right?
Right.
I thought, and I know that we're technically global, but early access, pre-release, whatever. As soon as I started playing it, I thought that they were going to release chapter 1, and then they were going to like hit the game hard and push it hard with chapter 2. That's what my first thought was. But as I have played it, I've like slowly come to realize, okay, they have a lot of things that they need to improve before they should push it hard.
And I think they probably knew that. They probably knew that.
Yeah.
That's the strategy there. Yeah.
I think I was a little overly optimistic with how quickly the game would blow up.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I'm always a naive optimist. Like, people either come from, like the spectrum of being like, they call themselves realists, but really they're pessimists. And then you have the people who call themselves optimists, but really they're naive. And like, these two groups of people eventually, as they grow, they get towards the middle, where I like to call people realistic optimists. And I come from the naive side of things, or the naive side.
That's all good, man. I like it.
But yeah, that's the thing, is that like I've come to realize that the game just needs more time, and it's not that the game is dead. It's not going to die. I think the game's going to be a great place. It is going to grow. I have loved seeing the community's feedback to it. It's very clear that people love the game a lot. I mean, clearly people are getting to elite level 100. Yeah. And that's not really worth doing. So clearly they love the game. It's not worth your time. Like, don't do it. Like, unless you really care. Like, it's not worth it. So like, there's a big passionate group of people, and that's really fun and really exciting. So the game is there. We just need to let the developers have more time to develop it and release more content.
Yeah, and
whether or not they have content like stocked up for us, I don't know. But like, we're getting chapter 2 in the next 1 or 2 months, so I'm hyped.
No, that's good. And I think we need to be okay with that as a community, right? Like, we need to share that with our communities, that, we don't want something to be not ready and global. Let's wait for the time to be right. You mentioned in your channel that because of the state of the game and like how long it's going to take until it's actually global, that your cadence of content. Are you able to share, like, give a little, and I didn't ask you ahead of time, so this is just kind of dropping it on you, but do you want to tease us a little bit about what you always do these big videos? Like, what's your next big video going to be about? I promise I won't steal it. I can't steal it.
Yeah, so. No, you can. I mean, I don't think that
I'm not.
For me right now, Moco is the sad truth is that I cannot, I just cannot justify releasing too much Moco content. And like, just to give you, let me just pull up my analytics right here. I'm going to look at the analytics for my most recent Moco video. Okay. I pay my video editor for Moco content, $200 a video. It's a pretty good rate. It's a very generous rate. And the reason I do that, because I like to, I like people to get paid for what they're worth. And one of my great prides of creating content is just being able to make a living doing what I do. And so I want to try and provide that for as many people as possible. So I pay my editor $200 a video. And I'm going to look at the revenue that I generated for my last video. Okay, my last video made $152. So I am negative $50 or $48.
Yeah.
for like my last moco video because the audience just is not there yet, or is no longer there. And so I'm biting that, and I'm not saying like seeing that number and being like I can never make another moco video. And like, no, I love the game. I want to foster a moco community. I want to celebrate this game that I love so much on YouTube, with the people who care about it. But I cannot just justify the time, because any time that I spend making a moco video is time that I am not spending making a Brawl Stars video.
Yeah.
And my Brawl Stars content does significantly more than that. Like, you know, some videos will do more than 10 times that, you know?
Yeah.
And so, like, I just kind of have to gauge my time. So for me right now, moco is about, I'm about to finish my series of my no life series, which no lifing it kind of ended prematurely because it got to the point where there was not enough content in the game for me to no life.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a spoiler of my next video, but I'm going to release that. That will be the series finale until another chapter releases. And then I've got a video where I'm going to talk about the 16 things that I think that moco needs to add to the game. And then I'm probably going to just release 1 or 2 videos a month, unless there's an update that happens. And when an update happens, I'm going to hit the update hard because I love updates for games. And I want to cover that for moco, and I want to do a good job with that. And I think that that will gain traction that will justify the cost for my editor. So yeah, that's kind of like where I'm at right now. I don't really have any massive projects. There's one that I wanted to do. I did the Weapon Olympics.
Yes, love that.
And I had a lot already done for the Gadget Olympics, but quickly realized that it's just not worth my time right now, especially where they're going to be like, I mean, I can almost guarantee you they're going to rebalance things. And I can almost guarantee you they're going to release new gadgets. Like, this is going to happen. And so my initial idea for the Weapon Olympics was like, let's create this awesome video where we can compare them all and see what is best in all these different categories. And then I realized, oh, we're probably not ready for like a global push for a while longer than I thought. So maybe I'll just save this video idea for much later.
No,
so that's sad, especially for the people that want to see a Gadget Olympics. So if you want to do a Gadget Olympics, feel free to do it. You can.
I'm not doing any Olympics. That's a Kairos thing, man.
No, you can, especially for the people that want it. Just know that once the game's ready, I'm coming back to doing it.
Oh, no worries. I appreciate you giving us a little context on what you're coming up with. Glad that you're going to finish the series out and still cover it a bit and support the game. I love being one of the creators in this alongside of you as well. Before we go, I have one.
We should talk about monetization.
Oh, let's talk about monetization. Let's do it.
Yeah, sorry. I know that you want to talk about something else, and we can talk about that.
Let's my something else was something very. It was an outro. It was an outro, tiny thing.
Oh, let's not do that then.
Monetization's a big thing.
Okay, let's talk about monetization in the game, okay?
Yes.
And cosmetics, because aren't the cosmetics in the game so great? I love the pause on your face. You're like, what? Sorry for saying that so sarcastically.
There's one cosmetic I love in the game, and it's the one that I'm wearing, which is the fiery one. You know, I love that one.
Everybody's wearing, right?
I know.
I mean, it's really cool. No, I'm sorry for being so sarcastic. If any moco developers are out there and you're like feeling offended by that, I really do apologize. No, I think the audience or the cosmetics definitely need some improvements. That seems to be very clear. What I love though already is that in the KPI they talked about the cosmetics and they were like, okay, clearly we have not reached the standards that you guys are wanting, and that's cool. But one thing that I just am really excited about here is that it seems like they want to continue focusing on the cosmetic only monetization. I don't think that they talked about that in the KPI. So like we don't actually know that for sure, but I feel like if they were going to change that, they would have mentioned in the KPI, right? Yeah. I think they would have done damage control if they were like, if they realized, hey, the game isn't monetizing as well as we wanted it to be, we have to change something, then now would be the time for them to make that change. Because doing it now while the audience is really small would just make so much more sense than doing it later when the game is grown and people are used to a pay for power type progression system. So the fact that they did not mention any sort of changes right there has me really hopeful that they're going to continue keeping the game completely free to play when it comes to progression and power. And that I think is awesome. and I think that is huge. I still have my concerns, especially because not a lot of the cosmetics are super great, and there's no real benefit to having your collector level other than like your badge looking a little bit shinier than everybody else's.
Yeah.
But I think that's awesome. So I just wanted to say that.
No, I appreciate that. And coming from an action RPG space, like, you know, I focus on that
Diablo
genre.
Immortal.
Yeah, hey, stop. It's this space is action RPGs are pay to win. MMOs, there's just so many things that you can do to pay for things. So Supercell coming out, and I've said it before a bunch of times, them coming out with this model, it's kind of it's just out there for the genre. I have people that come over from my Diablo channel because I talk about the game over there, and they literally cannot believe that you could do everything.
They don't believe you.
They don't believe
They think
it.
you're lying. They're like, what's
Right.
the catch?
Yeah, exactly.
They just don't. And that's just because that space has been just completely overridden with microtransactions and monetization and stuff like that. Like, I think the most free-to-play friendly MMO RPG out there is Final Fantasy 14 or 15 or whatever it is. I think that's the only one where you can't, like, you pay for a subscription to continue to play and you buy the new releases and that's it.
Yeah.
Even like old school RuneScape, which I play a lot of, where you pay for a monthly membership, there are still ways for you to buy gold in the game for items. It's not nearly as bad as like World of Warcraft, where you're spending money on like individual cosmetics and stuff like that. You can't do that in old school RuneScape.
Yeah.
But like, monetization has just completely overridden the space. People are pretty frankly just pissed off about it. They're really upset and they hate it. They don't like it. You'll have awesome games that come out there like Diablo Immortal, which is an awesome game. And it completely ruins people's experience of the game, the pay-to-win aspects of the game. You have that over and over and over again. And I think that moco continuing to keep the game free-to-play friendly, not just free-to-play friendly, but
Free-to-play.
completely free to progress and free for power, or free to play for power, whatever.
Yeah.
Like keeping monetization out of out of progression and power. I think that is just this little. People are searching for something like that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting that it'll come out on a mobile game.
I know. I think, well, and a free mobile game. Like, you don't have to pay to get into it. So
yeah, dude.
You could literally play everything here and compete to be the best in everything here, absolutely, as a free player. And you mentioned free to progress and free to play, because there's two different things. Like, you could progress more quickly in certain games by paying to get to that level, or you could pay for power to just be stronger than everyone. They're two different mechanics. Some are one is better than the other, but this one here, it's literally just cosmetics, and I love that as well.
Pay for pleasure.
Pay for being pretty, man.
Pay for pretty. I like it.
Pay for pretty.
You got pay for progression, pay for power, and pay for pretty.
Yeah, we're pay for pretty here.
That's
moco.
way better than pay for pleasure. I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to cut that part out of the video.
Thank you. No, I'm keeping that in. That's the best part. That's going to be the highlight of the intro. I have to say though, regarding cosmetics, and this happens in all games, like the Elmo Muppet cosmetics, I think they're absolutely awful. But when my 9-year-old saw it, he's like, "You have to buy that." I don't know why he loves it, but he does.
My kid's got a big kick out of it. I bought the pizza face ones.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I saw a single other person who bought that one. Like, or who at least like were playing it in the game. I don't think I saw a single player with that equipped.
So what they make, your $8 and that was it on that one?
I'm sure that more people bought it, especially people
I
that
know.
care about collector level, but I don't think I saw a single person. And I'm sure that people thought it was hilarious. And I want stuff like that in the game.
Of course.
And I think that's cool. But there's so many different aspects of cosmetics that could be improved. Like this whole idea of like keeping your cosmetics as separate kits compared to like your weapon kits, like that's weird because like I want to make this really dope looking healer dude, right? Like if I ever want to play medicine ball, I want a very specific outfit that really plays off of the medicine ball's aesthetics, that works with that, and then I have a ride and all of these things that works for the medicine ball. I don't want to swap two different kits. That's one thing where you tie outfits to weapons or gears and stuff like that. That's a small thing that they could do to improve things and give people a reason to have more than one cosmetic. You mentioned you have one thing that you like.
Yep.
There's no reason if there's okay, so let's talk about collector level, okay?
Okay.
And the reason why is because for you, once you get that one skin that you like, You're going to equip that, and then every other cosmetic that they release, you're going to ask, is this better or worse than my favorite skin? And if it is worse than, you are never going to buy it. And if it is better, you will buy it and then stop using your old one. And from that point on, the only way you're going to make another purchase in the game is if the next skin is cooler than what you already have.
Yeah, such a great
point. So all of a sudden they have to like one up themselves, where they have to make cosmetics progressively cooler and cooler and cooler in order for them to actually monetize the game. That's not great. That's not a good system, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Obviously, creating different skin outfits for different weapons helps fix that, because then you want to create, like, some outfits don't look good with the medicine ball that would look really good with the toothpick and shield, for example. You know, and so people will do that. There's ways they can improve that. But that's why I think they really need to improve the collector level program. They need to give players a reason to want to increase their collector level. Give people's so that you want to unlock as many cosmetics as possible, even if it's not cool enough for you to equip.
Yeah.
And there's some small different things that they could do for that, for collector level, like small little benefits, like as you increase your collector level, you get more gear kits slots, or like, you know, that's a small thing.
Quality of life. It's still not pay to win, but it's a little quality of life feature you gain.
And this is important, that they also make the quality of life features good enough for everybody who's free to play.
Yeah.
But then also do something small for the people who are spending money on the game that does not include power, does not include progression, right?
Yes.
Additional little things, like they could add like a little tracker in the game for you to track specific monsters for a project. And everybody could have like 3 monsters they could be tracking at any given time.
For efficiency.
But if you increase, but then you could increase your collector level and then get an additional tracker. So you can track 4 monsters at a time.
Yeah.
You know, is it like pay for progression faster because you're hunting monsters a little bit faster? Like,
minimal.
I mean, it's like, I guess you could make that argument, but it's small enough that I think that even free-to-play players would be pretty fine with that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. And also, free-to-play players would still also be able to increase their collector level to some extent, and it would give them a reason to want to earn the free titles and stuff in the events that come up. A lot of people will see these PvP events and they're like, I hate PvP, I'm not even touching this. I don't even care. But what if that title increases your collector level just a little bit? And then it gives you a little bit more incentive and makes it feel more worth it for you to play these events and stuff like that. Like, it's better for everybody. I don't know.
I like that because you could still grind your collector level for free, absolutely for free, with any free cosmetics that the game offers too. So that's a great point, especially with the Elite Hunter program, right? Like, you can get all those cosmetics in there, or a bunch of them, not all of them.
Yeah, but that's the thing as well with the Elite Hunter program, is that like the main reward is to get all these cosmetics. But as a free-to-play player, if you don't spend on the pass, you open up and you look at all of them and you're like, what's the one that I want? And then you get that one that you want, and then you're like, cool, I guess I'm done. I don't care about the maxing out my Elite Dash module, and I got the one outfit that I care about. I'm not going to use all these pins. I'm not going to use all these gestures. Who uses gestures? The only time I use gestures when somebody dies and I go and dance on them.
I've never used a gesture. I equip all pins.
Yeah. Like, there's like no reason for you to do it. So like, why would people want to do this? All of a sudden, if you add benefits to people's collector level, then it gives people more of a reason and to continue playing Elite Hunter program and grind out all these different cosmetics.
That's a great idea. I want to bring it back, and I know that a lot of people here never have played Diablo Immortal, but when you purchase certain services inside of the game, it'll give you quality of life convenience. So one of them is I'm able to remote access the market. So if I'm out in the open world and I want to sell something, I don't have to go back to the main hub. It's not pay to win. It's just a convenience type thing. So implementing some types of those that are attached with that collector level, I think that's a good idea. A little more value, a little secret value.
Yeah, I do think it's very important that the base level that you get at collector level 0 is good.
Yeah.
Like, you can't like do something that's just like crazy better.
Yeah.
Like you can't inconvenience the free to play players so that you can then offer quality of life to the spending players. Yeah. I mean, you could. That's just not, that gives people a bad taste.
Yeah.
You know, like,
to be great for everyone.
Might be like, like, let's say that your collector level increases the radius at which you can pick XP up off the floor. What if they made that like really, really small at base level, and then you could only increase it? Like that would be so inconvenient, and all of a sudden you're spending so much time walking around picking up all the XP. That would be so frustrating. That would be terrible. Don't do that, Supercell.
Free-to-play players need to tap on each individual piece of XP to pick it up. Oh,
yeah, you kill a Mega Char's monster, and it's almost not worth it because you're spending so long tapping on all of the XPs.
Oh, how awful would that be?
Oh man, we should stop giving them ideas.
Yeah, that's a bad idea.
We should stop giving Diablo Immortal ideas. That's what we should do.
True. I'll tell you though, I'm glad we talked about monetization because overall, I've felt the same. I think in the short time that the game has been out, with the small number of players that are playing, I mean, we saw they made $1 million in the past month. That's a good amount of money for something that is purely cosmetic based and cosmetics that many people had complaints about. So
yeah,
add a little.
It's good. I think that there was also a lot of confusion and people not really understanding what the value of like the pass was.
Yeah.
Like the very first pass people purchased thinking that it would give them XP. Because surely there's a gimmick, right?
Yeah.
Like so they were like, is this worth it? Like people ask me all the time, like, is the pass worth it? And I'm like, what do you mean? Just look at the skin.
Yeah. Do you like it?
Do you want to spend that money for the skin?
They don't
do you think it's worth it? They didn't understand it. Yeah. So I think it's good. Yes, they made a lot of revenue, but I think that they need to be a little bit clearer about how things work. And also, I think that value is unlikely to increase until more players are playing the game. I think it's good though. I think it's a good starting point.
Agreed.
There are lots of people who are just really dedicated to Supercell games that are going to just start playing and immediately just buy stuff because they are able to. They can afford to. It brings, and they can justify that expense, and they want to. They're like, I'm gonna play this. I mean, there's been a lot of games where I'm just gonna be free to play, and then like 3 months later, I'm like, I wish I just would have made that purchase 3 months ago because it would have been so much better for me or whatever. Yeah, like I've got this game that I've been playing a lot of, and I'm like, man. Which it's not a free to play friendly game. It's like anyway, it's not important. I don't need to talk about it.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that it is a good indicator, and I think that hopefully it will continue to do well over the long period of time. We'll have to see. The fact that they did not mention anything in the KPI makes me think that it did good enough. I hope. But I guess we'll see with this next update. I'd be confident 2 to maybe 3 months.
Yeah, I'm confident in you saying that as well. I think that I agree, is all I'll say. I do want to be transparent. When I got to the Elite Hunter program, I purchased it, and I didn't really know what it did. And it wasn't until I purchased it.
It was confusing.
Yeah, and it was like, I didn't know what I was getting, but I was
at
streaming
one point,
at the time.
I think it said like 6 times value, and I was like, 6 times value? What?
Yeah.
I don't remember exactly what the wording was that it said. Like, I looked at it, and I was like... What? Like it took me me as an analytical content creator for Supercell games who has played a lot of games over the past, 30 years of my lifetime. I didn't play before I was, 4, I guess. I'm 34. Like it was, it just was like, I don't know. It took me a little bit to figure it out, and I figured it out, but
yeah.
And now I think that there will be a number of people that when Chapter 2 releases that they will not be confused and they will be better. They'll have a better understanding of what is worth it and what is not because they recognize, all I have to do is just look at the skins and decide if that's worth it for me or not.
That's a great point. People may have purchased without having that full understanding, and maybe they won't purchase next time.
Yeah, and there also may be a group of players who didn't want to spend at the beginning because they didn't know if they would like the game, and now are going to be more likely to spend the game because they're like, hey, I got Elite Hunter 100. It didn't feel worth it, but I did it. I'm dedicated to this game. I love the game. I want to spend some money on the game. I want to have the coolest cosmetics, because I think there's definitely going to be a group of people who like that cosmetic that you have, the fiery one from the first chapter. Like that's probably going to be one of the rarest cosmetics for a long time until they like re-release it or something like that. Like that's going to be even more rare though. Is probably going to be the ones that don't look cool.
yeah. Oh, that brings up another question. Should they re-release these cosmetics, or should they be you get it during the season, and same with modules, or they're gone and they're not going to be available? I love the idea of exclusivity of things. I love the idea that I have this cosmetic that I love, and that in a year people aren't going to be wearing it anymore. And if I still am, I'm unique in that way. What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, it's a really hard thing to try and solve because I'm with you. I think that exclusivity is really, really cool. This ended up causing a lot of problems in Brawl Stars because, like, just think about what it would feel like in 4 years from now. Like, the max level before you reach Elite Hunter is like level 200 or something like that, right? There's tons of content. You download the game for the first time. Not because you didn't know it or not because you didn't think it was worth playing, but because you didn't know it existed.
Right.
And you download it and you start playing it and you're like, holy crap, this game's amazing. I'm going to play this game for the rest of my life because it's such a good game. And you play it hardcore and the game is great. And then you realize, wait, there's cosmetics that I can't get now because I didn't even know this game existed.
Yeah.
Like, that sucks. It really sucks. You could spend thousands of dollars. You could spend hundreds of thousands of hours. Wow, that's a lot of hours. Playing the game and never be able to get it. You could be the most dedicated player that moco has and still not be able to get that game because you didn't know it existed. Or because it was like early access and they didn't promote it at all. Like, that feels really bad. And guess what? In 4 years, the majority of the people that are playing right now, they're not going to be playing.
Yeah.
They're not going to care. They will have the exclusive cosmetic, and it doesn't even matter to them.
That's true.
Like,
You're right.
And so, like, it really matters for the people. Now, for the person who is here right now and who will play for the next rest of their life, like, and they have that cosmetic skin matters a lot to them. But I don't think that it is worth... I don't know that it is worth the majority of moco's audience in 4 years not having any access to it. I'm not saying that there's no room for like really truly exclusive cosmetics. I think that them doing stuff like that is really cool. One of the examples is the Bean Knight, the Discord blue Bean Knight skin that is in the game. You know what I'm talking about? That the only way you could actually get the skin in the game. Yeah, the wizard. Yeah. The only way that you could do it is if you were part of the Discord community for a certain period of time. I think that that is really cool, and I hope that they continue to keep that cosmetic exclusive for forever. And I think that they will, but I think that they should also release that skin with color variations that everybody is going to be able to have access to. That is not exclusive, because it's a really cool skin, and it would be a shame for somebody who really is dedicated to the game in 4 years from now to be able to have access to it. So I think they should do these exclusive skins, but I don't think that it should be a huge focus. I think that this Chapter 1 skin should come back to some extent later in the future. I don't feel the same way about the title, though.
I was going to say the OG crew, man. That's got...
Not just the OG crew title. I mean the Chapter 1 title.
Oh.
Chapter that you get elite at Elite 100. Chapter 1 Elite...
That means
Chapter
something
1
to you.
Elite Hunter title. It's a small little thing. It's just a title. You don't even have to use, like, it's not a skin. People aren't going to see it out there. People aren't going to look at it. They're just going to be like, oh man, that's cool that that person has that, That's something that I feel like should not be re-released, but...
I mean, it shouldn't.
That's my opinion.
It shouldn't. I mean, if it's Chapter 1 Elite Hunter, they're not going to have another Chapter 1 Elite Hunter.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could see them doing, like, Chapter 1 rerun or something like that. Yeah, I could see them doing something like that. I mean, especially because the game is so small compared to how it will be in 2 or 3 years from now.
It's true.
Like, I could see them doing something like that, but anyway.
At the end of the day,
exclusive cosmetics are really hard.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, I think this cosmetic is awesome right now, but there's going to be so many other cool ones that are going to replace it for me over time.
I mean, honestly, they could just make the flame blue, and you'd be like, "Oh yeah, this is cooler."
Yeah,
like,
I do like blue. I do like blue.
Blue flames, dude. Like, oh yeah,
need those.
Or like they could change the particle effect from like a flame to like static electricity or something like that. Give it a rainbow effect, and I'd be like, "Oh, that's way cooler," But
easy to please, Kairos.
There's a lot of things they could do.
No, you're easy to please. All right, let me bring you in my question. Now, I know that voting is something that's very private to many people. But there was a big vote that recently happened regarding our pet here in the apartment.
Juan Carlos.
Yeah, were you just
Slim
concerned
Shady,
about what I was about to
Neko.
ask?
No,
yeah.
you can ask me anything.
So what? I mean, for me, the vote did not win. I was voting Slim Shady all along. My question was, did you go Slim Shady or did you go Nico? What vote
I
were
went
you in?
Neko, dude.
You did?
Neko's like the freaking best name ever.
It's a good
I mean,
one.
for anybody who doesn't know, Neko in Japanese means cat. And so
Oh,
it's just
I didn't know
yeah,
that.
that's what it yeah, so Neko, Neko in Japanese means cat. And so it's like this cute little Neko, right? And so for them to do it no.co, like just like moco, I'm like, boom. This is the freaking best name ever.
That is good.
I was a little worried that Juan Carlos was gonna beat out Neko though.
Was it that close?
It was fairly close. It was like within 10 percentage points or something like that.
Wow.
Which, do you know the Juan Carlos thing?
I don't.
Okay, so-
I guess I should.
Oh, this is just unfortunate. I even hate bringing this up. Okay, so Brawl Stars World Championship is happening. Literally, like, World Championship. I don't remember if it was the finals or the quarterfinals, but, like, there's a massive prize pool here up for grabs.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the players on one of the teams, named Juan Carlos, picks a brawler whose name is Kit, who is a cat brawler, on a map and a mode where you don't play Kit. It's just a terrible pick. And they got slaughtered because of it. And so I did not like the Juan Carlos aspect of it because I feel bad for Juan Carlos because
That player.
when you're in the World Championship and there are, millions of people potentially watching you, and the pressure is on. There's so much pressure. And like they had an idea behind why they picked this brawler, but like the pressure got to him, and that sucks.
Yeah.
And I don't want him for the rest of his life to have a character in the game that will just remind him of that big mistake
Poor guy.
forever. I didn't like it. And he might have been all for it. He might have been like, yeah, dude.
It was
name
his
that cat after
suggestion.
me.
It was his initial suggestion.
It could have been his suggestion. I don't know, but I didn't look into it, so I just felt bad. And so I didn't want that to be the case. I didn't want Juan Carlos to win. But so I was really glad that Neko won. And I understand Slim Shady. I get it. But that's why Neko won, is because it's cat in Japanese.
No, that makes, and I wonder how many people actually knew that. I bet you a fraction
Probably
of
not a
people
lot.
that voted for it.
Yeah. Plenty of people
I
don't watch
didn't.
anime at all and
Yeah.
don't follow Japanese culture even in the slightest.
Hey,
And that's okay.
it's okay.
They're wrong, but it's fine.
It sounds like the right one.
I'm just kidding.
It's wrong. I'm not a big anime guy, just so you know.
I watch a ton of anime, so I.
All right. Well, hey,
Anyway, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I love having you on the channel, man. Just sitting and talking about our favorite games. Thanks for coming
Dude, it's
through.
so fun.
And
Yeah, this was really fun, and I know I get really long-winded, but hopefully we were able to provide a little bit of insight on some of the things that it's really funny when I come on and I do these with you. I definitely do get long-winded. I definitely do repeat things that do not need to be repeated, which is something I just barely did 2 seconds ago. But it's funny how whenever I do this with you, it's easier for me to get my thoughts out than when if I were to film the video myself without writing a script. There's a reason why I write scripts, is because I can't do this without another person to talk to.
this is the kind of content I love. I love the sit down on the couch and just talk. I'm basically your therapist in this video here, man. Just sit back and let's just talk about it.
That's right, man. I love that. Thank you so much for having me. It's a lot of fun. I hope to do it again in the future, and really excited for the future of moco. So if anybody's out there and they're worried about the future of moco, genuinely, I don't think you need to be.
Yep.
There are some things that need to be improved. I know it. You know it. The developers know it, and they'll improve some stuff. And it might take some time for them to improve the specific points that you don't like about the game, but I think they'll get there, and they might even address it in a way that is way better than you can think of. So just hang tight, be patient. If you don't want to play until Elite Level 100 right now, dude, all the power to you. Don't do it. It's really genuinely not worth it. So don't. But we would love to have you back when Chapter 2 releases, because I think the game is going to continue to grow, going to continue to be awesome, and it's just going to get better from here. So I'm really jealous of the person who downloads the game for the first time 4 years from now and has so much content to play.
Yeah.
Really jealous of them.
I think after you talked about that Chapter 1 title, everyone's going to be grinding for that Chapter 1 title now, Kairos. So you added a little extra juice there.
Oh, I think that's going to be exclusive, man. I don't think it's coming back. I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
We'll see. I doubt it.
We'll
I
see.
doubt that titles will. OG Crew also should be one that doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
But hey, thanks for coming through. I think that a lot of people are going to enjoy the discussion. If you guys did, let us know in the comments, and we'll see you back here with another moco video really soon.